Hey everybody, welcome to Press Pause, the video game nerd show, level 4. It really is. Hey people, what's going on? This is Press Pause, the video game show. I'm Carl Swadella, and with me is Matt Chandranay.
Hi.
From Area 5.tv. You're still here all week.
I am, I know.
And we got you a little bit of food last time.
Yeah, you fed me yesterday. That was nice. I appreciate that.
I got you that beer.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The chain is starting to chafe my ankle, though.
That's okay.
Got some lotion in the bag.
That's so much. Scott Jones is over there, and he does Wheels of Steel.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about game reviews.
Yes,
Awesome.
There they go.
Good. My bread and butter.
Is it your bread and butter?
It is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's what I do.
You're like, you should know, it's kind of like my job, what I do. We're going to talk about 3 games. One is an indie game, and 2 are mainstream releases, or whatever. Okay. First one we'll mention is the indie game, which if you found it, because it's buried in the new Xbox 360 section.
Right, which we talked about a few days ago.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Miasma is a turn-based strategy game that I am quite fond of.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
It seems like they spent a lot of time on it. It's, third person. And your main character could be a guy or girl, kind of an espionage, spy guy or girl. And then you have a random troop member with you and another guy who has a gun. And you're kind of trying to, get to a said location. So think Ogre Battle, think any turn-based strategy game.
Yeah.
And then you're setting up, you have health potions, you have, different types of attacks, and you can move and then attack. If you play turn-based, you know what
you're talking about, yeah.
But it seems it has a lot of polish, has a really good polish to it, and for an indie game especially. The camera is nice, you can move it around fully, the whole world.
And this is an Xbox 360.
Xbox 360 indie game.
Cool.
And it's like 400 points, I think. It's really cheap.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it. The music is pretty terrible. So maybe just go with the music option and turn that off.
Right, or use a custom soundtrack.
Yes, custom soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I'm highly recommending this for a buy because it's a really polished turn-based game that actually cares a little bit about the story too. A lot of these games, they're indie games, they're like, go.
Right.
Right.
Which
Here's
is
a game,
fine.
go. Which is fine, yeah.
Right.
But it's nice to have a little bit more of a fleshed out story. I mean, these guys spent some time on talking about this dystopian type future.
Cool.
So, and there's mechs in it too.
Mech, I'm always a fan of a mech.
Yeah.
That's why I love Civ 5.
You have one at home, right? Did you buy one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, found it
the only one that
on
has a mech.
Craigslist.
Yeah. So I recommend this Miasma, and you should go home and play it because I think it's...
Yeah, definitely. It sounds right up my alley because I love turn-based strategy stuff. So.
Yeah. Now, it's limited. It's an indie game. It's not like it doesn't have a flushed out...
Yeah, but for 400 points, what are you going to ask for?
What are you going to ask for?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's great.
So I like Miasma. Go get it and try to find it in the Xbox 360. It's hard to find. In the mainstream releases, we're going to talk about... First, you're going to talk about Fable 3.
Yeah.
Which I preface this and say I put off buying because I heard a bunch of things that I didn't like about it. So tell me what your expressions are.
Well, I would say that overall my problem with it is that it's just kind of one note. Fable 2 really had kind of a roller coaster emotional ride that it drew you through the story, even if some of the gameplay elements weren't all there. Fable 3 doesn't really do that so much. Fable 3 is kind of just like progressing from beginning to end, and you never really feel that rich emotional journey. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, it does have a lot of issues. Probably if you've been out there reading reviews and everything, all of them are true. The co-op actually works surprisingly well.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, which is actually, it's a lot of fun. I hopped in with a friend, and before we knew it, like 6 or 8 hours were gone while we were playing co-op. And
that's what they promised for Fable 2. Remember, they wanted that to happen.
Right, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Sure terrible.
But Fable 3, they fixed that.
Is it as easy as they say it is?
It's pretty easy. It is a pretty easy
Someone said they
game.
never died or something.
Yeah. You can get pretty low on health, but because you can get money so easy in that game, I always had 1,000,000 health potions, and it really wasn't a problem. So it was pretty easy. And the combat is a little bit less. You're a little bit less able to sort of customize your combat experience. You have stuff that is just mapped to face buttons and like the magic, melee, and range, sort of like you did last time. But you can't switch between magic on the fly. You have to go into a menu.
Oh, so you just end up staying staying with one of them probably more
You
often.
usually do, yeah. And the menus in Fable 2 were god-awful, universally recognized as god-awful. But in Fable 3, they did this thing where the menu is kind of represented by your sanctuary. You press start button, and your character is immediately in a sanctuary, and you walk down a hallway to pick your weapons and your spell.
You
spell
walk?
items.
You actually have to actively...
Yeah. Which is the kind of thing that...
weird.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that normally I would say, like, awful, terrible, don't do it.
Yeah.
And but it is kind of cool. It works pretty well. You hit the start button, you're instantly there. There's no loads in between it or anything like that.
That is odd.
It is a little odd. It is a little odd, and it is a little cumbersome. I found myself not changing weapons when I wanted to, and not switching spell gauntlets when I wanted to.
That's so funny they would drop that from Fable 2 when I felt like it was such a great feature to be able to go back and forth between.
Yeah, me too. I think they tried to simplify the combat for more people.
Well, so that's still a positive review, though, you say?
It still is. I still found myself putting 35 hours into the game.
Okay. So. I might still hold off on it, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying a buy or rent?
For me, it's a buy, but I would say for most people, rent.
See, this is what you do. You're looking out for the people. I like that.
Yeah. Like I said,
it's part of his job.
I'm here for you.
That's what he does.